I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but it happened. It finally happened. The whispers that started weeks ago, those sideline looks we all noticed but no one wanted to talk about, the vague and uncomfortable answers at the podium, every sign was pointing to this exact moment. And now it's real. On August 28, 2025, just days before the season kicks off, the bombshell dropped. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Now let me tell you right now, this isn't just some transaction you scroll past on your phone. No, this is seismic. This is the kind of move that doesn't just shake up two franchises. It rattles the entire balance of power in the NFL. Because when a player like Micah Parsons changes teams, it isn't about filling a depth chart. It's about altering legacies, rewriting playoff brackets, and reshaping how the next decade of football might actually look. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend this is just another trade headline. No, this is the biggest defensive move we've seen since Khalil Mack packed his bags for Chicago. Dallas didn't just lose a player, they ripped out the very heartbeat of their defense. And Green Bay? Green Bay just injected pure chaos into the NFC. Because let's be clear, Micah Parsons isn't just a pass rusher. He's a nightmare you can't game plan away. He's the guy who makes offensive coordinators throw entire sections of their playbook into the trash before kickoff. He changes everything. He doesn't just rush the passer, he rewrites the way offenses have to line up, how protections shift, how quarterbacks read the field. And now the Packers are the ones holding that weapon. But how did we even get here? Let's rewind for a second. Earlier this month, the first rumors started to leak. Parsons was frustrated, maybe even asking out. And of course, Dallas tried to keep it quiet. They tried to spin it as contract talks ongoing, but anyone paying attention could see the cracks forming. The money was getting outrageous, emotions were boiling, and the Cowboys were running out of time. Camp was heating up, the season was right around the corner, and the media pressure was suffocating. And then, just like that, the news broke. Dallas was actually listening to offers. That's all it took. Within hours, phones around the league lit up. And by evening, boom, the push notification that nobody thought they'd see. The Green Bay Packers have acquired Micah Parsons. And Green Bay didn't hesitate for a second. They didn't just trade for him, they locked him down instantly. 4 years, $188 million. Let me say that again, $188 million. Depending on who you ask, the guaranteed money is somewhere between $120 and $136 million, but however you slice it, Parsons just became the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the league. So, what did Dallas get in return for giving? Up the soul of their defense? 2 first-round picks, plus Kenny Clark, one of the most reliable interior linemen in football. On paper, yeah, it's a solid haul. Clark gives them stability right now, and those picks? That's draft capital that could fuel a complete reload, maybe even set them up to take another swing at a superstar down the line. Painful in the short term, maybe rewarding in the long run. But for Green Bay? Oh, this was a thunderclap. This was a declaration of intent. They're saying to the rest of the league, we're not waiting, we're not hoping. We're going all in, right now. They just shoved every last chip to the center of the table. And when you look at that defense, Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, that young, hungry core, and now add Micah Parsons to the mix. That's not a defensive line. That's a demolition crew. This isn't just about sacks either. This is about chaos. Every offense they face now has to adjust their protections before every single snap. Slide left, Parsons comes screaming off. The right. Keep the back in protection, he loops inside and crushes your pocket. You can't scheme him away, you can't hide from him. He doesn't just beat you physically, he forces you into mistakes, into hesitation, into fear. And here's the real kicker. This all came down to one simple truth: money. Everyone in the league knew Parsons' next deal was going to be historic. The question was whether Dallas was willing to bend their entire roster around one player. Some people will tell you that for a generational talent, you pay whatever it takes. But others argue that sinking that much money outside of the quarterback position is roster suicide. And in the end, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys made their choice. They pulled the plug. They chose the future over the present. But in doing so, they handed the Green Bay Packers one of the most terrifying weapons in football. And I'm telling you, right now, the entire NFC just changed overnight. Let's talk scheme for a second. Parsons is a monster off the edge, but he's more than that. He can line up inside, fake as a mug linebacker, or even drop into coverage just enough to confuse a quarterback. That versatility is exactly why the Packers wanted him. They can create every look in the book: creepers, simulated pressures, wide nine attacks, interior stunts. Parsons isn't just a player in that system. He's the multiplier. Dallas, meanwhile, is left with an identity shift. Parsons wasn't just their best defender. He was their face, their tone setter. Losing him is going to sting not just on Sundays, but in the locker room, in fan morale, even in coaching confidence. But let's be fair, 2 first-rounders give them leverage. If they hit on those picks, and if Kenny Clark shores up the run defense, they could come out stronger down the road. Now the money, $47 million per year. That's a number that's going to echo around the league for a long time. Every pass rusher. Contract moving forward will start with, well, Parsons got $47 million. This just reset the entire edge rusher market. Green Bay knows this, but they're playing the timing game. Lock Parsons in now while their young offensive core is still on rookie deals, maximize the window, and worry about cap gymnastics later. So what does this mean for the NFC picture? San Francisco, Detroit, Philadelphia. The Packers just joined that top tier. They now have a weapon who can flip a playoff game on a single snap. And if you're a quarterback heading into Lambeau Field in January, you're not just facing the cold anymore. You're facing Micah Parsons breathing down your neck on every third down. That psychological edge matters. It changes the way QBs throw, the way coaches script, and the way games unfold. Dallas now has a fork in the road. Do they use those 2 first-round picks to stack elite defensive talent? Do they move up for another franchise cornerstone? Or do they spread the capital out and build depth everywhere? The one thing they can't afford to do is lose their defensive identity. If they want to turn this into a long-term win, the Cowboys need to prove they can build a defense that functions as a unit, not just around one superstar. So who are the winners and losers here? Green Bay is the obvious winner today. Parsons gets his record-setting payday and a shot to rewrite his legacy in green and gold. Dallas? They look like losers in the short term. But if those 2 first-round picks turn into cornerstone players, history could paint them as the smart ones. Sometimes in the NFL, today hurts, but tomorrow rewards you. On the field, I expect the Packers to roll Parsons in quickly. Maybe a slight snap count at first, but let's be honest. He's not the kind of guy you keep on the sideline. They'll move him around, disguise him, let him wreck protections, and he's going to deliver fast. This isn't a guy who needs 6 weeks to adjust. He produces instantly. And let's not ignore the emotional part of this. For Dallas fans, this feels like the end of an era. Those highlights in the star helmet, those sideline celebrations, they'll be replayed forever. Parsons' farewell message had a tone of sadness, but no bitterness. And that's the beauty of this sport. Stories don't end, they just change colors. For Green Bay, it's a fresh chapter. A cold winter night at Lambeau, a roaring crowd, and Parsons coming off the edge. That's the kind of moment that defines a season. To wrap it up, this trade is the ultimate answer to the question, who wanted it more? The Packers wanted it more. The Cowboys invested in the future. And Micah Parsons? He proved once again that he's one of the rarest talents we'll ever see. On August 28, 2025, the NFL landscape shifted. And if you're watching this channel, you already know we're going to be breaking this story down all season long, every single week. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment. Who won this trade? Do you think Parsons pushes Green Bay to the top of the NFC? And what should Dallas do with those 2 first-rounders? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, because trust me, this season, defense is going to be the story.